We make original theater pieces, and we make them from an existing ensemble of actors and designers and myself. I'm the director. This is a sort of new idea we have for how to conduct our workshops, which is to bring whatever material we are working on at the time and invite the workshop participants to help us process it. So in this case, we brought some video source material we've been playing with, working on building choreography from, and a few pages from the new play that is being written for us.
I hope they take away, you know, some new sort of theories about how to make shows, and then maybe build up some brand new theories and then break them down.
Set you, all you, set this whole place in the name of the political struggle. You know, set it all on, you know, light it up and watch it all go up and just set this whole place on.
It's a really exciting experience actually to have 20 people to work with, which is, you know, our cast size, our casts are large, but they're not usually bigger than 10 or 12.
Tarraleah is a beautiful place. It's like somebody's taken a slice out of suburbia and just plonked it in the middle of the wilderness, and it's made even more surreal by the fact that it's up so high and then there's a sheer drop. So you've got all these wonderful houses in the wilderness, and then everything else just drops away, and then beyond that is a hillside full of trees. So it's really surreal.
10 Days on the Island festival contacted us, and they brought us here.
We tend to ask people to kind of go a little bit outside their comfort zone and try sort of new techniques and new things that might seem pretty strange, and everyone here has just completely embraced it and has been, you know, generating their own material. For us, it's really important to kind of be facilitators, to say, this is how we do it, this is how we work as an ensemble, and then to say, okay, now you are the ensemble. You know,
we've been to Dublin, Lisbon, Vienna, and Amsterdam a couple times, Belgium, Singapore, which was really amazing, and then we've been to Australia actually 3 times. We went to Brisbane and Sydney, and then we went to the Adelaide Festival, and then here. And this is the first time any of us, I'm pretty sure everyone had never been to Tasmania before, so that was very exciting.
I feel really good. I'm really fascinated by the approach that ERS take to movement and to devising a scene, and yeah, I'm just learning heaps about, I guess, fresh approaches to how you could build a scene or what your starting point might be.
All art is solving problems. The art lies in how inventively and how creatively and how technically skillful you are in solving the particular problem you're looking at, and relying on the happy accident that once you start a process of problem solving, even if you don't know where you're going, the process will reveal the answer to you. That's a part of ERS's work that's really good. It's not, it doesn't look for an end product, it looks for a process, and then on the journey to solving a problem, they find an answer.
To have the opportunity to do this in your own state with international artists who are so gracious and generous and giving of their time, and it's so collegial as well. I think it's beyond brilliant.
Being a playwright, I'm not usually used to pushing myself physically in really any way, and so usually a creative process is one that's very heady and hardly involving the body at all. And what's lovely about the ERS process is that they've pretty much from the offset said we're going to build work through a physical process, and so yeah, feeling really good about it. Lots of ideas are coming out, but knackered too. It's
been an incredible, and just even having the social time with them, all the meals and getting to talk to each of these people, and talking to them about the work that they make and about living in Tasmania, and then their questions about New York. It feels like a beautiful utopian cultural exchange. I don't know, it's just like, it feels like exactly what you could hope it would be.
It's always the best when but another artist can tell an artist, you have to believe in yourself, you have to do it your way, but then there's another way, and maybe shaking it up might help your sort of native instincts.
So we've been working with them, and then we would also go to dinner with them, and last night we had a sing-along and everybody came together as a community in one of our cottages, and then coming back to work on our pieces again today was really great because we had all been social together.
Challenging, probably the repetitious nature of having to drill something again and again, obviously because I'm not from a performance background as well, so it's just a different medium.
Just the chance to get to actually meet all these new people, and the ERS team are so lovely and so easy to get along with and so experienced at what they do. I mean, the chance to get to work with people from New York is pretty cool.
It's been a very big day, very busy. Lots of energetic kind of work, really physical stuff, but also a lot of intellectual kind of creative things happening too. But I feel great at the end of it. I've really enjoyed it.
I've got carpet burn and I've got sore muscles and I'm exhausted, but it has been a really interesting process and the results were really amazing today, so it's pretty exciting, yeah. It's good to get this totally new perspective that sort of crosses into film techniques, but it's very much theatre and performance. So it's really perfect for me to see something like this, which is dealing in so many different areas, which is what I'm trying to do as well.
They're amazing, they're crazy. It's really very, very exciting. To be honest, I'm absolutely exhausted because I haven't worked this hard for a long time. We have danced for 2 days, and then of course we all got together after dinner last night and danced for about 2 hours, and then have come in and danced all day and just been going over and over the work. They're so particular and precise. It's exciting and I'm exhausted in a really good way.
It's lovely that we are across so many disciplines, because I always appreciate that whenever I do creative developments for one of my own works or something like this, being able to see how people from different art forms kind of present their practice, and then also having this great equivocator, which is that we're doing a process that's been given to us, so we're all kind of taken back to square one, which feels lovely, and they're all good people, so it's really nice.
Obviously, the opportunity to work with an international company of elevator repair services standing is a really unique and wonderful opportunity, and to see what their process is and to be a part of that, that's always a wonderful thing to be a part of if you can manage it. And it's also really amazing that to experience this, we're not travelling to New York, New York's coming to us.
You look very fit, mate! Oh, I am frightfully fit. I've done nothing but walk all day long. 1 drink a day with my mother at tea. It's good to see you, Jake. I'm a little tight, you know.
Even though Tasmania is quite a small state, the communities are quite isolated. You know, Launceston and Hobart, you know, they're 3 hours apart or something, which isn't an insignificant distance. But everyone is doing their own thing, and I think that the greatest benefit of workshops like this is to bring the community together and discuss each other's works, talk about what other people are doing, and especially for me, because I'm new to the state, get an idea of what people are doing, and I think there's no use being competitive in a small community like this. I think that we're all doing our own thing, and if we can share that with each other, then that's a really great benefit from a process like this.
Working either strictly with music or with theatre, I'm always looking at theatre or at the thing from music. But the way in which we've been working here is to, rather than try to apply things to a creative idea to a thing, you kind of take something and put it in the middle of the circle, and then you become what you put in, as opposed to always trying to colour and impress and shape a thing. And ordinarily you think, well, if you're trying to develop a play about a certain thing, a certain city, then if you bring an egg to the table, what's the egg got to do with the city? It's finding a relationship between things and making it work, which seems quite counterintuitive, but it's curiously working.
Well, I think it's referred to as an incubator. You know, it really does, you know, in a way it ignites stuff, because you're all sort of stuck together in a residency like an incubator, like it does sort of bubble up ideas and inspiration, but it's also is about creating space that can, you know, allow creative thought and ideas. I think that's, yeah, so there's this kind of two things happening. One is this whole mishmash of a whole lot of different ideas together and different people's practices and different people's ways of working. And then, you know, at the same time, it's actually open because it's got this space, because you each come from these different things that you're doing out there, and it's a focus.
I feel like there's some people that are going to be coming to New York, and I can't even believe that I'll be able to see, I mean, Finn is going to be coming to New York to do a show at New Vic, the New Victory Theatre. He does shows for children, so I'll go see that at the end of May. Finn will be there in New York at the end of May. I'm just hoping that everybody gets to New York, because I don't know when we'll get back to Hobart or Tasmania.
We don't work together enough creatively in fields which aren't led to a product or a particular project that's meant to justify itself. This process is great because in a sense we're all being taken out of our comfort zones, being thrown in together as artists who have to rely on each other. Naturally we learn together, naturally we discover each other's kind of personalities as we work with each other, but we also, by sharing a space and being away from our everyday lives, we bond much better. And you know that that's going to lead to stronger working relationships with those you know and new working relationships with those you haven't met before. It's a very good process. It's
been one of the most inspiring and validating as well. It validates a few of theories, and this is a common thing from a discussion with other people, things that have been kicking around in our heads, and we've gone, oh, right, so it is a valid point to be working this way, or not everything has to be intellectualized.
And having such a beautiful group of Tasmanian artists who can now contact each other, and you know, there are people I didn't know before or didn't know very well, so now I have an even bigger web of friends in the arts that I can call on to say, hey, why don't we make something?
Well, look, I think it's been a great and rare privilege to work with a company from New York who's come to Hobart and done such an amazing show as the Select, to then stay beyond 10 days on the island to work with some of the best artists locally and to build rapport and a theatre language, but also friendships, which will last beyond this workshop.
The sort of hugely polished end product that we saw as the touring show, and realising that it's something that's created by humans, and that there's that the processes they follow aren't some sort of mysterious arcane ritual. They're something that you can understand, and that there's a lot of just working from gut feelings, and that's been really enjoyable because it's slightly comforting.
I think adapting to their method when sometimes it hasn't made sense to me at first, but committing to their process and seeing that it's, you know, how well it works, and just opening up my mind to other opportunities.
Creating this little microcosm that we have here and nurturing what we have is so important, because that's what makes Tasmania so special, is that we are isolated in a way, and therefore we can be innovative in that isolation. So the more we can bond together either through new ideas or whatever, just experience new things together, and it makes us a more solid unit where we can interact, where we can play, where we can create something that's quite unique.
It's been a fantastic opportunity to network. So I've made lots of new connections, and people who are in Hobart, but even though you're all sort of in the performing theatre area, like, you don't always get a chance to meet each other. So it's been really good, being able to meet writers who are a particular group of people I don't often get to meet.
I think that the stuff that they're doing is unlike anything that I've ever seen. It's very fresh and modern, but it also engages with text in a very respectful way, which a lot of theatre companies don't these days, and I think that's really important, to engage with words and ideas. So yes, I would do something like this again anytime it was offered, absolutely.
Sure, I think everything that I do, whether consciously or otherwise, makes its way into the theatre or the work that I make thereafter. With this, I think there'll be quite an intentional jump from one to the other because I like the practices I'm seeing. I like the amount of permission they give themselves to find material from a whole gamut of places. So yeah, I can really see that being infused into whatever I do next.
I feel like it gives me a bit more license to do some of the things that I've been wanting to do, but have felt that it's not what you do. That's just not done in theatre, and that there are things that there are things that you are told that you should or shouldn't do in theatre. For example, putting a novel on stage, and it's just those sorts of problems. It's just a new way of seeing things, and it gives me more confidence to try those things that I really want to try and have been wanting to for some time.
What I enjoy is seeing how people go from inspiration to sort of the end product or the result, and that's what this workshop has been very much about, following the process from inspiration to outcome.